I see people that I care about and who care about me, and that's wonderful. When I was growing up, a little girl, there was a TV program in America that it was one of those educational children's programs, and it was before Sesame Street, before Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and it ran for 30 years. It was very popular. Romper Room. And my favorite part of Romper Room was at the end, when Miss Lois in St. Louis or Miss Molly would take her magic mirror and she would look out into through the camera to my living room and she would say, "Romper, bomper, stomper, do. Tell me true. I see Janet. I see Brian. I see Dirk. Dirk, are you having a good day today? I see Anne." And she'd go on for 10, 20 names. And the day she said, "I see Sandy," I was thrilled. I was just sure that she had seen me. And then one time she added that special phrase, "Sandy, are you having a good day today?" I was like, yes, Miss Lois, I'm having a great day. You called my name, you saw me. And as I realized how that feels to be seen, to be heard. Abraham had been promised by God that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. But he and Sarah had waited a long time for that to come to pass. And one day Sarah went to Abraham and she said, "Look, God has kept me from having children, and so I have this maid, this slave from Egypt, Hagar. I want you to take her and have relations with her so that I might have children through her." Abraham agreed. And so Abraham had sexual relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. Well, Hagar, as soon as she became pregnant, she started to treat Sarah with contempt. And Sarah didn't like it at all. She did not like it at all. And so she went back to Abraham and she said, "I gave you my servant into your arms, and now she treats me with contempt, and it's your fault. The Lord knows, and he will judge between you and I who's right." Abraham said, "Whoa, yeah, she's your servant. Do with her what you will." And so Sarah started treating Hagar so harshly that she ran away. She ran out of the wilderness, and an angel of the Lord found her sitting next to a well. And he said to her, "Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you been and where are you going?" Hagar said, "I've run away from my mistress." The angel of the Lord said, "You need to go back to Sarah and submit to her authority. I'm going to give you more descendants than you can count. You're pregnant with a son, and you're to name him Ishmael. God hears. He will be a wild man. He will be as wild as an untamed donkey. And he will raise his fist against his neighbors, and his neighbors will be against him. There will be open hostility between him and all his relatives." Thereafter, Hagar referred to God as the God who sees me. She thought, have I really talked to the God who sees me? And thereafter, that well was named Bir Lahai Roi, the well, the living one who sees me. She gave Abram a child, a son, and he named him Ishmael. Well, some more things happened, more episodes in Sarah and Abraham's life, and eventually they had a son named Isaac. And when Isaac was ready to be weaned, they had a celebration to celebrate the fact that he was transitioning from being weaned. After being weaned. And Sarah saw Hagar and Ishmael mocking Isaac. She didn't like it. So she went to Abram again and she said, "You need to get rid of that woman and that boy. They will not have a part in my inheritance. I'm done. I don't want them around here anymore." Well, Abram was upset, very upset, because Ishmael was his son. But the Lord spoke to Abraham, and he said, "Don't be upset. Do what Sarah asks. Your descendants will be counted through Isaac, but I will make a great nation out of Ishmael's descendants because he's your son too." Very early the next morning, Abraham got together some food and water, and he put them on Hagar and sent her off, never to come back. And Hagar wandered around the wilderness until she ran out of water. And she sat the boy underneath the shade of a tree, but she couldn't bear to watch him die. So she walked a ways away, and she sat down and began to weep. But God saw the boy crying, and an angel of the Lord called out from heaven to Hagar, "Hagar, don't be upset. Do not worry. God will make a great nation from your descendants. Now go to the boy and comfort him." So then the Lord opened her eyes, and she saw a well full of water. She filled up her container, and she went to the boy and gave him water, and they survived. And God was with the boy. Now, there's many threads we could pull on this story. It's complicated, it's complex. But the thread I want to pull on this morning is what it feels like to be seen, to be heard. Like I mentioned before, my well is full this morning because I've had such sweet fellowship. And I felt like I've been seen and I've been heard. Some of you at this conference, you want to be heard. You want to be seen by others, maybe others that have been doing this a lot longer than you have and who have been seen and heard a lot. So I would ask you to think about in what ways the next couple days do I need to be seen and heard? In what ways do I really need to see and hear others? And to see and hear the Lord God himself.